In this video, I'm going to go over the writing expressions with an unknown worksheet. It's VL-1004, and I'm going to explain how this works. So, well, I'm going to go over some of the trickier questions. So, we're learning about variables or unknowns. So let's just do like one or two from each section. Let's take a look at the first section. It says, teachers from Royal Hills Middle School had cubes on a table in front of their room. The number of cubes is pictured below. Write an expression for the number of cubes they had on the table. Let's take a look at number one. Mr. Dan had a box of cubes and a couple more on the table. So how can I write a mathematical expression for how many cubes he had? Well, I've got a total of like 10 cubes right here, right? That's 10 cubes right there. But how many cubes do I have right there? There's some cubes in there. He said he had a box of cubes, but I don't know what's in there. So if I don't know what that is, I can use a variable. I can use a variable like b, or I can use n, or x, or y. I'm just going to use b. And so I could say, well, he has 10, and he has another box of cubes, which we don't know. 10 plus some other number that we don't know. So we could say he has 10 plus b. Now, what is b? Well, it's a number that we don't know. So we can say he has 10 plus b, or we can say he has b cubes. So, we don't know what that is, but b plus 10. They both mean the same thing, 10 plus b or b plus 10. So some people might think, oh, isn't that like 10b? That's not correct, because let's say I did tell you what was in here. Let's say there were 5 cubes inside our mystery box. Would I multiply that with 10 to get the total number of cubes on the table? 5 times 10? No, that wouldn't make sense. So if it was like, oh, there are 5 cubes in the box, and then you're going to times it by 10, that would not give you the total number of cubes. If I told you there were 5 cubes, and there were 10 there, you would add the two numbers up. So it's 10. This variable, this number plus this number. Not subtracting, not dividing, not multiplying, but add these two numbers up, the number of cubes in here plus the number of cubes right here, which is 10, and then you'll get the answer. Let's take a look at something like number 4. Miss Sherry had 2 boxes of cubes on her table. Both boxes had the same number of cubes in them. So do we know how much is in this box? No, we don't. I'm just going to say, sorry, in this box. I don't. It's B. And we also know that this has the same number of cubes, so we can use the same variable. So we could say, oh, well, how do I find the total number? What's an expression for the total number of cubes? Well, we could just say b. You take this number and you add it to the other number. So we could say b plus b. And that tells us the number of cubes. What else can I do? Well, let's say, I have no idea what's in it, but let's say this is 5 cubes and 5 cubes. That's a total of 10 cubes, right? So I could either find that by saying 5 plus 5, or I could say, oh, well, there are 2 of them, so like 5 times 2. So, I can multiply the number of cubes by 2. So I could also just say 2b. That just means 2 times b. Why don't I write 2 times b? Well, because if I wrote 2 times b, it almost looks like 2xb, which makes it look like I'm using like 2 variables. So I could write 2b. Can you also technically write b2? Yeah, technically that means b times 2, but when mathematicians write it, they normally put the number or the coefficient in front of the variable, not after. So you could either say it's b plus b, so this plus this, or 2 of these, so 2 times the number that's in a box. See if you can do the rest. Let's go to the next section. It says the gym teachers at Guardian High School had weights at different stations in the weight room. Some weights were labeled, while other weights had no labels. The weights are pictured below. Write an expression for the amount of weight at each station. I'll help you with number 7. There were 2 weights. One of them had no label, and how much weight was at station A? Well, it's 50 plus another amount of weight. How much? I have no idea. We can use a variable for that. Let's try, let's do something even a little trickier. Station C, there was 1 large weight and 3 small weights. None of them had labels. How much weight was at station C? Well, if we had 1 large weight and 3 small weights and none of them had labels, 3, L, and S, and S, and S, well, you can say like, oh, well, how much weight? Well, it's L plus S. If I add the weight, the large weight, plus the 3 small weights, S plus S plus S. That's how much weight I had. Large plus small plus small plus small. Or, if I just, because I had 3 small weights, if I just multiply the weight times 3, I would get the same thing, right? S plus S plus S is the same thing as 3 times S, because multiplication is just repeated addition. So you could also just say, well, the large weight plus 3 times my small weights. And that'll get you the same amount of weight. Finally, last section. 3 bank robbers grabbed bags of money from the bank. Each bag of cash at the bank had the same amount of money. Write an expression for how much money each bank robber got away with. So you're going to need to use a variable for the amount of money that they have that they got away with. Let's do number 12 together. Baggy got away with 1 bag of cash, but 2 $20 bills flew out of his bag as he ran off. So let's just say this is money. You use M for the cash. So that's just money. That's M. And then it said 2 $20 bills flew out of his bag as he ran out. So if he lost 2 $20 bills, I can say that he lost $20. Like, I could just say, oh, well, he lost $40. So I could say M, this money minus 40 is how much money he got away with. You could also say M minus $20, 2 $20 bills. So you could say 20 times 2, right? 2 $20 bills. Or you can also say the money minus 20 minus another 20. And that would also mean the same thing. So 3 different ways of writing that one. But yeah, go ahead and try the other ones on your own. Good luck.